Hi everybody, welcome to Colette's Thermy Kitchen. Tomorrow is pizza day, so it's a great day for you to enjoy pizza with your family.
What do you mean pizza day?
Well, it's,
Do you like National Pizza Day or something?
National Pizza Day, so it's a great day to get the pizza dough going and get pizzas, because who doesn't love a good pizza? We have them at least once a week and absolutely love them. So what I want to do today is to make up some pizza dough balls and then to make a pizza and then cook it in the Avana. So let's see how we go and let's get cracking. So my name is Colette Latriga, Thermomix consultant here in Australia. So if you're thinking of getting one of these guys, please consider selecting me as your consultant. No matter where you are in Australia, I'd love to look after you. All right, let's get cracking. So I'm going to be making the Neapolitan pizza, which is my favorite. And it's probably one of the most difficult doughs to do, listening to feedback from people, because it's quite a wet dough. If you're doing pizza for the first time, maybe try the barbecue chicken pizza, which Andrew adores. It's a much drier dough and much easier for you to use, but this is the one we're going to head with tonight. So I'm just going to make up the dough and show you how super easy it is to make in the Thermomix. So we're going to press start cooking. So it's telling me to grease a bowl, which is fine, done that already. And so into the bowl, scales have come up. I need to measure in 20 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Okay. Heading next, 320 grams of warm water. So just remember, exactly the same as if you're making bread. I tend not to use water from the tap because it can contain chlorine and other things, and that's going to inhibit the yeast activating as well as it should. Fluoride. Yeah, so...
not chlorine.
No, it is chlorine, and we've had this discussion before.
Fluoride.
Trust me, guys, fluoride. All right. So if you do have that and you don't have any filtered water, just pour your tap water into a container and just leave it for about an hour, and any of that stuff that we don't want will actually dissipate. So just filtered water that's been warmed up is perfectly good. So 320 grams going into the bowl. What are people saying about the chlorine? Anything?
It's fluoride. It's to stop teeth decaying.
Depends who you are.
Chloride is for the pool, not water, drinking water.
Okay, so pre-measured this. Sorry, guys. That's fine, 320, yay. Now, just be careful with the water. I'm keeping an eye on the liquids. I know that I went over a little bit with the oil. That's okay, I can cope with that. But I don't want to then go over with the water, because then you're going to have a different balance between wet and dry, and it's just not going to work out as well. So you want to be as near as you can in terms of your measurements. So heading next, the next thing we're going to do is add in some sugar. Now, when you're making any kind of dough, the sugar feeds the yeast. They're best buddies, so in goes the sugar. And then the next thing we're going to add in is just a teaspoon of dried yeast. Remember, when you buy your dried yeast, to keep that in the fridge. So that's going in. And remember, when you're putting it in the Thermomix bowl, don't just dump it in the middle. Dump it to the side so it doesn't sit on top of the blade. Right, and the next thing we're going to do is we're now going to add our flour. So this recipe calls for double O flour, and that's my favourite flour for making both pizza and pasta. It's a Durham wheat, it's a much finer milled flour, and it will give you a lighter dough than traditional baker's flour. The protein content's about the same. It's about 12 to 13% for both. But if you can get the double O flour, it's going to be nicer for you. So in that goes. So I think I pre-weighed that. 350 grams. And now with this recipe, we are popping in there some semolina. Now, semolina is basically Durham wheat, but be careful you buy the right one, because you can get different grades. We are looking for a fine semolina, and that's what you use in your pasta making and in your pizza making. So we've got 150 grams of fine semolina going into there as well. And then finally, the last thing we're putting on here is the salt. And you'll notice that, if you remember, we've got the oil, the water, the sugar, the yeast. And then on top of that, if you look in the Thermomix, there's this big film of flour and semolina. But by putting in the salt now, it's not going to touch the yeast. Yeast and salt enemies. They don't like each other at all. So in goes the salt. Fantastic. So heading next. Now I'm just going to pop this on and let the Thermomix work its magic into our dough mode, and it's going to basically go for 2 minutes and knead that all together. I love the fact that this function is here on the Thermomix. You know, 1 minute of kneading, I think it's equivalent to about 10 minutes of you kneading by hand. So it's a fabulous feature. Any questions there, Andrew, from anybody? No, pretty straightforward. So let me know in the comments if you've made this recipe yourself. We'd love to hear about that.
So I'm going to turn the pizza oven on?
Yeah, I'm just going to sort that pizza oven. I'll be back in 1 second. So I'm using the Avana to cook our pizzas. We love the Avana. We've had it for a couple of years now, I think. Can't quite remember. It's a fabulous product by Thermomix, available in the mix shop, and it just gives you the very best crusts with your pizza. And if you've got one, leave a comment in the post to tell us what you think of it. Nearly done here. So I've just got a bit of flour here. Now this dough is a bit of a wettish dough, and wettish doughs can be a little bit harder to handle. Excellent, it's all done. Right, there's the dough, and you can see it's a little bit wet, which is what we were expecting. So I'm going to just put a small amount of flour down, not a huge amount, because we don't want to take away the lovely hydration of this dough. I'm going to open up the Thermomix, take the base off, pop down the blade, and then I'm going to use my scraper to get the rest of that dough out. Okay. Don't be afraid of sticky doughs. Very similar to when you're making bread. It's the same kind of process. So all I'm going to do now is use my scraper to get this dough off the blade. Okay, fabulous. And of course what I would do then is get the Thermomix to clean itself on the dough mode. And just so you know, with that dough mode, basically it doesn't heat the water up, so you don't get a sticky mess. So basically what I'm going to do is press the home. Oh, I can get that to, I'll put that out. Press the home button. I'm just going to stick a little bowl in there. Home. I'm going to bring up the scales. Yeah, that should do. So I know that this will be divided into 3. We're wanting about 270, so I'm just going to add a bit of flour onto that. So about 270 grams per pizza. So this is going to give us, each one of these is going to give us one large 28. That's about 270, that's good. And then I can eyeball this one, so it'll be about half of that. Fantastic. So that's basically my 3 dough balls. Now remember, when you're making bread, you don't want to be pulling it apart because you're going to break down that gluten structure. So what we want to do now, just with a little bit of flour, not a huge amount, we're just going to make these into lovely balls. And basically all I'm going to do is to just shape them with my hands. And if you need to, bit of flour, I'm cupping them underneath, okay, and then just using that action. A little bit more flour if I need it, cupping underneath, and then once that's done, I'm going to just flip that over and just check that there's no open gaps, so that one's absolutely fine. So the same with the next one. I'm going to cup, okay, underneath, cupping it. So basically, if it starts to stick, a bit more flour, because it is a little bit of a wetter dough. Okay, and when you think you've gone far enough, you're going to pick it up. Excellent. So here we've got a little bit of an indentation. I'm going to pull that and twist it, because I don't want any gaps, because that's where the air is going to release from. So again, into the flour and just cupping it into these little dough balls.
Can you freeze these after you've done this?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly when to freeze these, because these will actually be going into the freezer. But all right, so I'm just going to pop these to one side here for a moment. Excellent. And then what I'm going to do now is I've got over here, these are the beautiful Avana, absolutely gorgeous little dough ball molds. Now I made these dough balls this morning, and I popped these little ones that you just saw me roll into an oiled one of these, and I popped the lid on and I left it out on the bench for an hour, and it doubled up in size. And then what I did is I took it out, I flattened it back down, and I popped it in the fridge. So basically, you can just, at this stage, if you pop this in and it is risen for an hour, one rise, you can go ahead and make your pizza. If you give it a slower rise, for example, you make your dough ball, pop it in here, put the lid on and put it in the fridge overnight or for 2 days, it's going to rise more slowly, because if you're cold, you're more sluggish, the yeast is going to take its time eating and creating those gases. So what you would then do a day or 2 days later is take that out of the fridge, bring it to room temperature for half an hour, and then go on to make your pizza. So 2 options. You've got your ball into the actual mold, let it rise for an hour, and then you can make your pizza, or you can do the long ferment, pop it in the fridge. All right, so let's now just put a little bit of semolina down on here. I prefer to use semolina. I'm not using tons. I'm just going to whiz this lovely dough ball out. All right, so this is the same flour. So to make our, oops, let's get rid of the flour. To make our pizza, what I'm going to do is I am going to use my fingertips, and I'm wanting to aim for a 28 centimeter pizza. So I'm going to start in about 2 centimeters from the edges. I'm not using my fingertips like this, I'm using this bit. All right, so about that much in, I'm just gently, look at those beautiful gas bubbles, that's exactly what we want, lovely. So all I'm doing is I'm pushing those lovely gases to the side. And if you need to, just pop your fingertips in a little bit more semolina. So happy with that so far, excellent. Now what I'm going to do is I am just going to little bit semolina on top, and then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to flip it here on my bench, and now I'm going to put a liberal amount of semolina on here, a fair amount, because this is going to be the bottom of our pizza. And then I'm going to do the same process, okay, about an inch in, using my fingertips, pushing all those gases to the edges, okay. And you can make that as thick or as thin as you want. Please don't get your rolling pin out and flatten all those gases that you've taken time to do. So here I am going to put on a liberal amount of semolina, because this is going to help me when I actually go to put this onto the peel. Right, so now I'm going to use the circles as my guide, and all I'm going to do is pop my hand down, just getting that little area sorted, hand down, and I'm just going to pull it out to that mark that I want.
You're not going to throw these in the air and twirl them as you do in the restaurants?
I want to keep it nice and easy, Andy. You can, if you want to pull, lift it up, flatten it down, but let's keep it easy, guys. Okay?
If you've got to twirl them in the air, I've seen them do that in restaurants.
Do you want to do that in?
I was in New York, and that's where they often see the chefs do this.
Well, they probably do that in and out, you know, day in, day out.
Ours would be on the ceiling if you did that.
So there you go, that's my pizza, and I can see Okay, I'm just checking that semolina, how it's going underneath. Excellent. All right, so 28 centimeters roughly, that's good. Now what I want to do is to make this up. So I'm going to grab my peel, and this is what the Avana peel, and this is what's going to launch everything into there.
Does that come with the oven?
It comes with the Avana oven, and I'm going to just try and pick this up.
I've got a comment. I mean, we've had this oven for like 2 years now, and still see how the quality of this looks like brand new still.
All right. On my blog, you'll get my recipe for my tomato sauce. It's a lovely sauce. I freeze them in half-cup portions. So in my freezer, I usually make a double batch. You'll have lots of these going. And then it literally takes about 10 minutes to defrost. And all I do is I grab my scissors. Scissors, which I thought I took out. Yes, here we go. And just make a little hole. Now you don't want to go crazy with your the amount of sauce on here. Now I tend to reduce mine quite a bit because I like that flavour. Okay, so there we go. That's on there beautifully. Leaving that roughly 2 centimetre or 1 inch piece around. All right, I wouldn't put any more than that on there, and that's quite a generous amount. And then on top of that, all I'm going to do today for our beautiful pizza is to put down some lovely fresh mozzarella.
Which of course you made yourself.
I love making mozzarella. It's not an easy thing to make.
Okay, so Colette's made the pizza base, she's made the tomato sauce, and she's made the mozzarella cheese.
All right, so this is a clean tea towel. I'm going to stick this over these balls for a moment, and let's head off before this starts to stick to the
Okay, I'll follow you.
oven. Okie dokie. All right.
See what a beautiful day it is on the Gold Coast today. It's about 27 today. Max has come out.
All right, and I'm just going to launch this into the pizza. So what I've done is one of the great things on the mix shop is the Avana. It's a temperature laser, so I can. This has gone down quite a bit. It's not warm enough, but we're doing live, so I'm just going to run with what I've got. So it's telling me the pizza oven is at 200, the stone is at 260. So I'd like it to be a lot hotter than that. Normally I wouldn't put this in until it's about 300. So that means the base isn't going to be as nice as I would normally like. But let's get this in. Okay, so that's in there. I'm going to hang this off the edge. So basically, let's see how we go with this. This is now heating up. Let's put that one nice and high. You just need to turn it. So with the Avana, I must confess, I don't do this step. This is the very first time I've done this step. Normally Andrew does this. I make the pizza and the dough, but Andrew does cook the actual Avana. Now, you can do all sorts. You can do ribs and tandoori chicken and skewers, all sorts in here.
Someone just mentioned earlier about the sizzle tray. Isn't that brilliant?
The sizzle tray is fabulous. The flank steak, oh my goodness, a brilliant thing. Yeah, there's so much you can cook in it. And the great news is, for the next 4 days, there's a 20% sale in the mix shop. So you can save about $90 on the Avana pizza and on any of the accessories that you might want to get. So this is starting to look good.
So just to let everyone know, the stand doesn't come with the oven, it's just the oven itself. But you can order the stand, which is a really good height to cook from.
It is. You can actually see quite comfortably in here. Okay, this is looking amazing. Yum! I love pizza. I always get excited when we have pizza. It's so delicious. And it's all about that crust. It's just not the same as cooking, that pizza in the oven or...
And if you're used to frozen pizzas, you wouldn't never eat a frozen pizza again. Wait till you try the flavours in one of these.
Just amazing, just amazing.
And Di, in answer to your question, no, the That's imitation turf. I don't cut grass anymore at my age.
Anything for an easy life, hey honey? Oh, this is looking so good. Okay. All right, so in terms of the doughs that I've made earlier, what I'm going to do is I am going to actually pop those into the molds, and then I'm going to let them rise for an hour. After that hour, I'm going to punch them down to take out the gases. I'm going to roll them into a ball, and then I'm going to open freeze them. And what that will mean is once they are nice and hard, I'm going to then pop them into a bag, and they'll be ready for me to take out of the freezer, defrost, and then let them come to room temperature for half an hour. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's a perfect thing to have frozen in your oven. Looking really good.
We were just talking the other day. We had pizzas on Sunday, I think. Sunday we had pizzas, yeah. And we were talking about how we wish we had one of these when the kids were young, because when you have a birthday party, you get 12 kids come around, and you're always thinking, what the hell? What can you do? In terms of entertainment. And imagine you put all the toppings on the table. Every kid, provided of course they wash their hands, makes up their own pizza. You bring that one out. Everyone tries it. You all have a vote. Who made the best pizza? That's going to kill at least an hour of time. And everyone has contributed to making their dinner.
So I can see the underneath. So what you want to do is also lift it up and have a look at underneath. But I know that stone wasn't quite hot enough when I put the pizza in, which was a shame, because it is looking lovely. So I'm just going to pull it over to the left and see if I can get that stone a bit hotter. So you want to warm it up, I'd say, 25 minutes beforehand. You want to get that stone hot, because the stone is what is going to heat the bottom of the pizza, and you want that beautiful crust. That's what it's all about. And just check the temperature. And only because I'm on live today, I've actually launched the pizza, but normally I would wait. There you go, guys.
I'm not sure, Audette, what you mean about taking the gas bottle off the shelf when cooking. That's what that shelf is designed for, to hold the gas bottle. Heat doesn't fall down, heat rises.
Oh, big explosion. All right.
No.
Right, now, just going to ready to take the guy out. That lid is there. You can't leave it in any longer, but it looks delicious. Alright. So let's take this guy out.
It's over there.
Thank you, honey.
Want to turn the oven off?
Yep. So there's our lovely pizza.
And then just put that cover back on so that keeps the temperature in. Push it in. Bottom in first.
Okay.
Top in first.
So, I'm just going to chop up a little bit of basil. But can you see what I mean by that crust? I'm going to cut some for you in a minute once it cools down. And you can just see those beautiful the holes from that lovely dough that the Thermomix makes.
You need to smell this pizza. It is... there's a puddle of saliva around my feet because this smells so gorgeous.
It is absolutely amazing. So there's so many accessories that are going to enhance your pizza making experience from the mix shop. As I said, that 20% off at the moment. You've got the boards, and I love these just as general kind of platter boards. You've got your pizza.
Yeah, if you haven't got one of these pizza cutters and you're still using one of those round clay cutters, you get one of these. These are brilliant.
How do you usually do these, don't you?
Yeah, come on, put some effort. No, don't do that. You just
I see.
rock it backwards and forwards.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, guys. This is... Can you hear that crust? Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. All right. So let me just see if I can just get into a little bit of that crust to show you. Oh, that will do. But probably not the best one to show you. All right. But basically, what a gorgeous mess. But the crust, can you hear it? Definitely. And what's lovely, it's just like those gorgeous New York pizzas where you've got the crust that actually falls. It's going to be way too hot. Mm. Love it. Never tired. This is my favourite pizza. Never tired of it. Sorry. Mm.
You are a cruel woman.
I am. You see some of the little bubbles and holes in that slice, but it is amazing. So, hopefully that's just showed you how easy it is to make quality pizza. It is so delicious, and it is not an expensive meal to make. I'm going to do a sausage one in a minute for Andrew. And tomorrow, please check my Facebook page because I'm going to put up some of the top pizzas for you with suggested toppings if you want to mix things up a bit. So that's the beautiful Neapolitan pizza base on the Thermomix, made in the Avana. Any other questions? Have I not covered anything with you?
No, it's all good there. So
Covered it all.
there's the oven. It's brilliant. It fits lovely. You don't need the base if you want to sit on top of a worktop. Though the base is great because it's higher than a worktop, and so from I do the easy bit. I only flip the pizzas around, but it's a great height to work from, and what also just makes it. And you get a cover with the Avana oven as well. So when it cools down, the cover goes over the top of this, and it sits outside nicely. I mean, this one is 2 years old, and looks in great condition. It's good.
Yeah, I would honestly happily just sit here and eat all the crusts on this pizza. So yummy. But anyhow, if you've got any questions, pop them in the post. I will check back later on and answer those questions for you. So whether you're freezing it or having it real quickly, just giving it that 1 hour rise, doesn't matter. It's going to work either way. So there you go. Have a beautiful evening. I'm going to enjoy this and go for a swim. I think it's pretty hot here. And I will see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. I love this pizza, Andy.